So I think we're about to go. Next time I talk, we'll be live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the ASO Fall 2020 season. This is night 2 of our fall programming. And my name is Geoff Robson. I'm the interim artistic director of your Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. And I'm here with Drew Irvin and Katherine Williamson and Ross Ahlhorn from the symphony for the first installment of Drew and Friends, which is going to be showcasing the educational side of things that we do here at the Symphony. One of our goals in our programming for this fall has been to really present a very integrated set of events for you all to enjoy both live and virtually, and that includes showing off the depth of our education programs. And nobody exemplifies that better than ASO concertmaster Drew Irvin, who has embraced the new normal since March with a unbridled passion as he created the Bedtime with Bach series and really has led the way in helping us all figure out how to teach virtually, has kept kids inspired and connected with each other through his teaching methods and group practicing methods, and now is going to host a monthly workshop, and he'll explain a little bit about how these master classes, studio classes work. And it will happen the first Friday of each month. And with no further ado, I'm going to toss things over to ASO concertmaster Drew Irvin.
Thank you so much, Geoff. Thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. And because the ASO is a small kind of family thing, I'm just going to take 30 seconds because Brandon Doris is running sound for us tonight. He's our tech guy tonight, but it's his daughter's 13th birthday tonight. So I'm going to take 30 seconds to embarrass a 13-year-old and play Happy Birthday to Haley Bug. That's her nickname. And we got a little applause from the Brandon's family. Thank you, Brandon, and thank you, Haley. Okay, so again, thanks everyone for showing up. Every member of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra spent years taking private lessons. Some of us spent decades studying, and many of us are also very, very passionate and dedicated teachers. And there's a ton of things that are involved with being a musician. There's ear training, there's study, there's learning technique, there's learning how to practice, and then there's learning how to perform. So for many years, I've had my students meet every so often, depending on my schedule, and they would play for each other and get practice performing, so that when they had to do it in front of, an audience that was not, their teacher or a couple of their studio mates, they could really be experienced on how to learn how to perform. So eventually I realized, hey, this is good, but I should ask some friends who have some students who want to play to join me. So I've done that. I've invited people over the years and their students have played, and it makes the studio class better the more studios that are involved. So this will be a class where the young students of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra Youth Program and the Sturgis Academies can come and practice performing. So we're going to work on a bunch of different angles. We're going to work on what is needed for the students where they are on their journey. So depending on the level of the piece that they're playing or the level that they might be playing at, we're going to be working from many different angles, which is why I'm really grateful that I've got my 4 comrades with me tonight to help me co-teach with these gangs. So there's an awful lot that goes into being a musician. It takes a village, and so I'm really glad that there's a village to help me out tonight. So we also might get really kind of detailed on some things. So think of this kind of like a peek behind the curtain on what it takes to build a young musician. So one thing, as you guys know, as much as I love performing and I love teaching, I like to hang out with my friends. So let me take a moment now to introduce my friends who are with us tonight. First off, we have our interim artistic conductor and professor at Hendrix, and violinist extraordinaire Geoff Robson. Thank you for being here, Geoff. And then we have violinist Katherine Williamson, who is the assistant concertmaster of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. And I'm really happy because she's my stand partner. That makes it great. And she is the director of our Sturgis Academy. Yay, Sturgis Academy. And then we have Ross Ahlhorn, who's one of the newest members of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. He is the professor of trumpet at the University of Central Arkansas. And as of now, he's our acting principal trumpet of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. Thank you all, gang, so much for being here. And then we are going to go right into our first student of the night. So I would like to introduce to you Alan Sun. He's a clarinetist from Conway, Arkansas. And he plays at Conway High School. He studies with, would you like to introduce yourself, Alan?
You can do it for me.
All right, I'll do it for you. He's a student of Kelly Johnson, our principal clarinetist. And he's going to open up the studio tonight by playing the first two movements of Saint Saens' clarinet sonata. Thank you, Alan, whenever you're ready. Wow, Alan, thank you so much. That was really great work. By the way, just for people who know, this is what I do in my studio. We do the hand sign of applause, which is kind of cool. Well, Alan, thank you so much for some amazing playing. I wanted to start off by saying you did some great contrast in style from the first movement to the second movement, and a lot of great virtuosic playing, beautiful sound and evenness. I would ask you a couple of things. Have you ever been lucky enough to play this with a piano?
Not in person. I've played along with some recordings, but those are at a very strict tempo, so.
Well, I'm really just glad that you've at least had the chance, even if you have to play it with a recording, just a little something. I could, as you were playing, I could hear that you were playing the other part in your head, like the piano part. All the spaces were filled beautifully. All the rest were nice and musical, which is very impressive that we have to learn how to play the rest as well. One of the things I would love for you to do and enjoy is even more color. Enjoy the color and the phrasing. Do you actually have the full score there? The piano part score?
Yes.
Yes. All right, turn to the first page.
Yep.
So measure 9, we're in E flat major, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, measure 9, we have a D flat in the piano left hand. So the harmonies all of a sudden have this richness that I've never had before. When you play the beginning with its simplicity and purity, remember when you get to that measure 9, there needs to be something that is just so special about that chord. Would you mind just trying the beginning first 10 or 11 measures and really feel that harmony change when you get to measure 9?
Okay, sure.
All right, so right there, measure 9, that little spot right there, do you feel like you made a big change in that measure 9? Da, 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 da.
Not really.
Yeah, I would start the measure before, da, 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 and then can you give me a juicy crescendo, da, da, romantic. Yeah, so in the context of where you played the whole piece up to that point, it's so simple, but that is so much more profound. You really have to listen to that change in the harmony. So you got this beautiful. And that comes in out of there. You really have to know that your part is affected by what's around you. So this is one of the challenging parts. Here we are in COVID, and it's kind of hard to hang out with the pianist, right? So I really appreciate you listening and feeling both the piano part, and you can do a little score study. So, because how much are you able to practice right now with school?
I guess it depends on how much work I get each day, but if I'm not really lazy, I can do a couple hours, but...
Two hours?
Lazy. Yeah.
Well, does your body get tired after playing that long, get a little worn out?
Yeah.
One of the really valuable things, especially at the level that you're working at, is doing score study and spending time inside the score instead of, having to actually do chops and thinking about the music, making choices about what you're doing. So, because you're playing at such a wonderful level. Do any of my fellow pedagogues want to chime in on stuff, please?
I've got one. Nice playing, Alan. It's good to see you and good to hear you. I think we can work a lot just on this opening phrase. What I was hearing is you did make a nice attempt to create these phrases in the sequence, like Drew said. But where I felt it was a little bit lacking is on the last note of each of the little sets of phrase. Ya da 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 da. It didn't really feel like the last note of each slur is very finished. You kind of almost like let it go, before, like you're kind of moving on in your mind to what's coming up next. And I encourage you to just linger with that singing tone all the way to the end of every phrase. And that really applies throughout, like including in arpeggio passage work, like ba, da, 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 to really play through every note so they stay really, really connected. And I don't know, maybe Ross could add to that as a wind player himself. But that was what I was hearing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, Geoff, I think you're right on. A lot of times, and this is not just a wind player thing. Sometimes when we have music that's, we have a short phrase with a little bit of rest in between, then long phrase, antecedent, consequent sort of idea. Carrying the phrase through these little short rests, that way it has some sense of I just sang it wrong, but add the rest in there. You pick up right where you left off. So rather than short snippet, and then further explanation, try to link the phrase, the little snippets of phrases together to create an even longer idea. One of the hardest things that we do in music is, trying to create really long, lush phrases that seem to go on forever. And I think this is a really great time or opportunity for you to work on that. Don't let the rests sort of, cut the phrase as easily as it can be. But it's really, really great playing. Really fantastic. Congratulations.
We've got about 2 or 3 more minutes maybe with Alan. Do you want to play that opening just one more time and try to implement a little bit of that phrase building?
Sure.
Yeah, really good. I'm not looking at the part, but what would it sound like if it were volume level like 2 at the beginning? The next little entrance was maybe 4, and then the explanation is like a 5.5. And then give us the rest of the business, as they say. Yeah, so as a listener, that really just draws me in. Like, okay, you've really thought about phrase structure, not only in the micro sense, but also in the macro sense as well. Yeah, that really sort of brings us in a little bit closer. It's great.
Drew or Katherine?
Absolutely agree with everything that's been said, Alan. Beautiful playing. I was just to add to this concept of phrase elongation. We could also maybe think about, let's see, where was this? Do you have big number 1? Fifth of 1, where you start to have those scales, those ascending scales.
At the 12/8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe to start a little less and to really build and save. I felt that every note seemed a little the same, right? So that's another really great tool to use when we're trying to build something. Maybe just if we're not sure how we want something to go, to start with following the contour of the line. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Could you maybe start from there and maybe try to build the scale as it ascends? Lovely. Yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah, really play through those 16th note passages. But really, really nice playing. You've made such incredible improvement over the last year or so. So congrats, keep up the good work. Just because I literally cannot control myself, the notes where it tends to go a little bit sharp are your written F natural on the top of the staff, and also those A flats in the middle of the staff. But again, like your half steps and whole steps are really starting to pop better. But it's always those flat notes and the possibility of going sharp.
Awesome. Should we head on next? Thank you so much, Alan, for some great playing and being our valiant first leader. We appreciate that. We're now so excited because we're going to move on to 5-year-old Parker Williams. And she will be playing, if I'm correct, Twinkle Theme. Is that right, Parker?
Yes.
Whenever you're ready.
Wow, Parker, that is just so beautiful. Now, I have a question for you. Do you also like to sing this song? Do you like to sing this song in addition to playing it? Yeah? Great. You can say yes. I know that maybe you haven't seen me in a long time. Do you remember me? I'm Miss Joe's friend, Miss Catherine. Okay. All right, awesome. I'm not gonna ask you to sing this with your voice, but I'm gonna ask you to maybe play the first section one more time, and I want you to pretend that this time you're singing instead of playing the cello. Okay? Can we try that? Let's try just up until you get to the first star.
Twinkle, twinkle, play it. Start from the beginning. There you go. Okay, that's all she wanted.
That was perfect. That was excellent. Now I wonder if we can pull the bow even more. Okay? Can we try again? And let's think about pulling the bow even more, especially on our down bows. Okay, really pulling the string. Can you give me just the first two Ds? Oh my gosh, that is just lovely. Now, as we pull, let's try to open up from our forearm a little bit more, okay? Let's try one more time, just those first two Ds. Wonderful! Now, Parker, what do you know about making your bow even softer? do you know a song that we sing to make the bow even softer? Do we know Up Like a Rocket?
Yes.
We know that one? Yeah. Do you want to put your cello down for a second and maybe we can do this together? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I heard that you like to sing this song. So we like to use this song to make sure that our bow is nice and soft, right? The fingers in our bow are nice and soft. Can you hold up your bow hold to the camera screen for me? Okay, good. Now I want to see, can you tap your index finger on top of the stick a few times? Maybe can you tap it 3 times? 1, 2, 3. Good. Now can you tap your pinky finger? 1, 2, 3. Good. And can we bend our thumb in and out and in and out? Good. That looks great, sweetie. That's better. Good. Now can we go back to standing up where your cello is? And let's sing this bow song a little bit, okay? I'm gonna sing and then I want you to just follow the motions as we sing, okay? Can we start up like a rocket?
Up like a rocket.
And then down like the rain. Good. And now let's check. Now that we've gone up and down, can we check and make sure that our fingers are still flexible? Okay, good. Now let's grab our cello again and can we play the first 2 notes, keeping those fingers nice and flexible on top of the stick. Really, really, really nice. Now, sorry, I don't mean to hog this time. Does anybody else have anything else? Or I want to just remind us about making sure that our fingers are always going down on the string before the bow, okay? Always finger before bow. All right? Can you play the bread section of your twinkle sandwich? The whole first line of the piece?
Start with the pull.
Can you keep going? Make sure your fingers are down before your bow plays. Good, Parker. Okay, so we have these little fingers, right? And one of them is even littler than the rest of them, right? So we have to be extra careful that when we put our pinky down, we can really feel the fingerboard. Does that make sense? Can you put your 4th finger down and really try and feel the fingerboard coming up to your finger? Yeah, why don't you sit back down, sweetheart? And can you just plop your 4th finger on the D string? Good. And then play with the bow. Yeah, can you move it up a little higher? Yeah, getting there, it's okay. It's really, 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 really good, sweetie. It's really good. So just always make sure that you can feel the fingerboard underneath your fingers, especially 4th finger. Yes. Oh, there's a beautiful ringing sound. Really nice, Parker. So I would recommend singing this song maybe 2 times before you play it again. Really try and open up the bow and then keep working on that beautiful tunnel hand that you have. So good.
I just want to say, Parker, I really appreciate you playing for us and making such great improvement. Thank you so much.
Bravo.
That was really impressive.
Thank you.
And now, thank you very much, Parker. We're going to move on. Now I'm very excited to introduce Fenix, who is 5 years old, and Fenix is going to be performing May Song. Whenever you're ready.
I love to play the violin.
Thank you, Fenix. That was lovely. I have a question for you. The title of this piece of music is May Song, right?
Mhm.
What is a song?
A song is like something you say out.
You sing out, right? Yeah. And so when we play the violin, when we play a song on the violin, we're trying to imitate singing. And so that's what we're doing with the bow to make the strings sing. And while you play very nicely, I'm just grabbing my fiddle here. You could make it a little more like you would do if you would sing it by connecting the notes just a little bit more. When we stop the bow between every note, then it doesn't sound quite the way it would when you sing it. Does that make sense? So sometimes sometimes we stop the bow, but sometimes we can keep the bow going a little bit. You want to try it one more time? Really nice. Yeah, it really is very beautiful. The first note could be a little bit longer, I think, and also some of the long notes a little bit longer. You're very quick and you can play very fast, which is wonderful, and you'll have to as a violinist. But when you do get a long note, hang on to it like you're singing it. Drew?
I just want to say, Fenix, it's so great to hear you play. The last time I heard you play, I think it was in June. And you've made such great progress since June. You've been working hard, haven't you? Do you still practice every day? And do you listen to your violin playlist a lot? Good, good, good. What's the thing that you like the most about this song?
I don't really know.
That's okay. I want us to try it again, and let's see if we can use our imagination to try it with a different style. Let's pretend it's a slow day in May. Can you pretend to do a slow day in May? So instead of going down, da da ba ba ba, it's long and slow, and it's a slow day. Can you try it really slow? Let's pretend it's a slow day. And just the beginnings part. Oh, that was so nice. That was nice and slow. Do you think you can go even slower? You think you got more slow in you? Do you want to try? Wow, that was really nice, Fenix. Okay, now to give you a reward, how fast can you play it? Do you want to try it as fast as you can? That's great. That was so fast. That was great. I love that you've got all this creativity. You can go really slow and you can go fast. Okay. And I cannot wait to see where you go with more of this creativity in the fast and the slow, or maybe different characters or different moods as the pieces when you get a little older. So anybody else have some ideas?
Well, Phoenix just saw me, so if Ross has anything.
I feel so lucky to be in a room full of string players. You actually invited in a mouth breathing brass player. But Phoenix, that was very, very good. Let's see if we could do one little thing. I want you to play the first 3 notes only, and I want you to make them connect as if they're like bricks in a wall. There's no daylight coming through those bricks. Can we try that? Just the first 3 notes. Dee, da, dee. Just that much. Yeah, so I'm hearing some daylight between the first note and the second note. Can it be da, dee, da? All sound. Yeah, very, very good. So that's what we're after, creating a whole like wall of sound without any daylight coming through. So if you could take that idea and apply it throughout the entire song, it'll sound even better than it already is right now. Really nice job.
Well, thank you so much, Phoenix, for the great playing and hard work you've been doing. All right, and we're going to move on now, and we are going to hear. Make sure I get the right names. Trey Williams. And Trey, can you remind me, what are you going to play for us tonight?
I'm going to be playing Minuet number 1.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. Whenever you're ready. Thank you so much. Wow, that was great. How long have you been playing that piece?
It's been a while.
Well, I really like all the work. One of my favorite things about what you do is how beautifully relaxed your bow arm looks. It just looks like it melts into the string on the down bow. I was wondering if we could try the beginning again, actually the second half. The da 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 da. I'm wondering, it's a little challenging, right? That's the spot where your brain gets a little confused now and again with the song. I'm wondering if we can turn the song in your brain up louder and then see if the fingers will begin to figure out what they're supposed to do. So in your brain, did that feel easier with the song louder in your brain?
Yeah.
Good. I like that because it ironed out a couple of spots where you maybe had a few speed bumps. That's that a little trick to make sure the music in your brain is nice and loud to make your fingers do what it needs to do. Anybody else have some ideas?
Sorry, go for it, Russ.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll just take 2 seconds. So Trey, I'm wondering, what's the bowing in the very first measure? Good. Could you stop after the first 3 notes? Good. Now I wonder if you could use a little bit more bow on the first note. Oh, that's better. That now it feels more like a dance, right? I'm pretty sure this piece is a dance. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
A minuet? Yes. So I would recommend maybe you could play one of your scales using that bowing to really open up your down bow. So nice, you want to think speed, slow, slow, speed, slow, slow. Does that make sense?
I'll try skill.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. You could also try just every note gets that bowing. So you could play up the scale and back down. Maybe try that in your practice tomorrow. Really opening up on the down bow, okay? But it sounds beautiful. Made some great progress. I miss you as a violin student, though.
Yeah, so I just wanted to echo what Katherine said. I tell my students, this is kind of a joke. There are 3 types of music. There's a song, there's a dance, and there's pirate music. This one's certainly a dance, right? One thing that I think you young string players do a lot better than younger wind and brass players is you have that dance idea sort of baked in already. You're already doing such a great job with your dancing with your cello. So, congratulations. It's really, really nice.
Thank you.
I would maybe just add to, I love that comment very much, and I agree that you're doing some really nice things with it musically. So I'm gonna give you a really dry and boring but very important piece of technical advice. Okay, so when all of us play our string instruments, one of the very, very, very most important things is to getting a good sound is to having the bow the right distance from the bridge, right? And there's a single point where the violin or the cello sounds best in terms of how far away from the bridge. And when you sound your best, you're right on that contact point. But when you start to slide the bow up too close to the fingerboard, you don't have as good of a sound, and then you can't dance as well. So I would say as you practice, really watch where the bow is on the string, and you'll really have a nice strong sound all the time. Does that make sense? You want to give me 4 bars at the very beginning, and just with our last 30 seconds here. That's good. No, that's great. Already the sound was much bigger and fuller. And if you add to that what Katherine said about the down bow and what Russ said about the dancing, and you've really got some great cello playing going.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good job.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Trey. And now it is time for us to hear Max Baker.
So proud of you.
Are we ready, Max? We're so looking forward to hearing you play. And remind me, you're playing Minuet 3?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Whenever you're ready.
Who's going first? Really nice playing, Max. It's good to hear you again. Let me ask you this, and I'm back on the sort of technical side of things again. What is the difference between a whole step and a half step?
A whole step is longer.
Yeah, it's wider, right? And so and what is a whole step? How do you play a half step? Let me ask you that way.
I don't know.
So are your fingers close together or are they farther apart?
Close together.
Close together. I think that throughout this piece, your half steps could be quite a bit closer together, and the whole thing would be a little more ringing and in tune. Do you know what I mean? I'll give you a couple examples. I'd like you to go from the very beginning, and just you only need to play four or five measures. And one of the half steps that I'd like to be closer together is between the B and the C, first and second finger. Nice small half step. And it's usually the B that is too low, not the C that is too high when you have in that situation. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's good. It's already better. And then and you've got good hands for this. You've got a nice shape to your fingers. So when you go, make sure that first finger is a little bit higher too, so that it's nice and close in that half step to the G after it. Can you start from here? That's right. Do you hear the difference?
Yes.
Yeah, and so you want to really make that a habit to hear what those notes are supposed to sound like and make those half steps really close together. But good job and good work this summer.
Thank you.
Max, I just want to jump in and say, I also heard you in June, and I really love your progress since then. Your bow hand and your bow arm look so much more relaxed, and your left hand really is like
Looks like we may have lost Drew for a second. Ross or Catherine?
I just wanted to jump in. I really liked what Trey was doing with big beat one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think you could do a little bit more of that. So big beat one. In this sort of dance music, beat one is like, the mother of all beats here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So in order of importance, it's beat one, beat three, and then beat two. So have 3 go to 1. That way it makes 1 feel more big and broad and round. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Can you just do like a couple bars of the opening again? And I want a really big beat one. Yeah, great. And you also have a slight tendency to, when you have dee, dom, bom, beats 2 and 3 there are a little bit late. So make sure you keep time through the shorter notes. Really, really great job. I love how you're using all of the bow. You're really getting a nice big sound, I can tell. Really great job.
Thank you.
I think we might have Drew again.
Oh, we're about to have Drew back here. So, but I would say based on what Mr. Ross just said, will you do that one more time, Max? That was really good, and add all of the things, the big first bow, right? The good rhythm on the 2 ups, and if you could add for me a little bit higher first finger on that B natural, and then you'll really, really have some good stuff going. Try it one more time. Good. Yeah, really, really good work, and we're just gonna, keep working at it, and you can just take it to the next level every single week, really. So great, keep at it. So, and Drew, are you there?
I'm back.
Great.
I'm back. And let's go ahead and move on. Thank you so much, Max. Appreciate your hard work. And now for the final student, we have 17-year-old Dayton Strick, who will be playing Bach's Preludio from the E major violin partita. Whenever you're ready, Dayton.
Okay. Is this good? This. Okay.
Yeah, nice job. So as a trumpet player, as a mouth-breathing trumpet player, when I see a piece like this where it's, you know, the entire page is black with 16th notes, it gives me like cold sweats and nightmares. I understand that's a little bit more of what you guys do. So really, really great job. There's a lot of really good things I'm hearing. I love how you're crafting each phrase. Not every single 16th note is just clinical and, you know, the same length. It sounds like you've done really good score study with which notes are more important than others, and that's you know, really, really great playing. Quick question: who do you listen to play this? Like, who's your favorite recording of the third sonata, third partita rather?
Probably it's Proman or Ray Chin.
Okay, cool. So more modern players. Have you listened to any Baroque violinists play this?
No, sir.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so it can be very different, and I know that this is something that's been in the violin, the string playing world for a little bit longer than it has been in the brass world. But we're starting to rethink how we play some of these old standard pieces with modern instruments in the brass world. Like, for example, you know, for Bach and Baroque stuff, we'd play piccolo trumpet. But back then, it would have been Baroque trumpets with no valves and all this stuff. And so that really changes how you play the pieces. And so now we're going back and looking at how you perform that repertoire on modern instruments, but with the knowledge of what it would sound like, what you would maybe do differently on a Baroque instrument. So go listen to people like Alana Yousefian and Rachel Podger, and a whole bunch of other really great contemporary Baroque specialists play this. I'm not saying you should change your interpretation. Of course, the people Rachel and company have incredible interpretations of this, but it might give you a little bit of a different idea as to what you could do with this. Another thing, you were doing this really great in the beginning. As things got a little bit further along, you sort of lost the idea. So can we go back to the top? And I want you to really overdo the melodic notes. Okay, so when you have this flurry of 16th notes, really make it obvious to us which notes are important and which notes are less important. Just try it at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, great. So one thing, I'm sure you guys do something like this. In Brassland, we call this skeletonizing. So starting in measure 3, can you just play the melodic notes? And just link them together. Forget all the repeated Bs. Good. All right, so now let's go back to the top. And when you get there, and any other measure like it, I just want you to play the melody. So try it. Yeah. Good. And can you make it even more connected? One more time. Yeah, good. Now let's play as written. You got to memorize. It's no big deal. All right, let's play it as written.
Okay.
Yeah. So take that idea and run with it with a lot of the sections that seem really repetitive, like bogadika, 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 and maybe each measure only one note changes, which changes the harmony. So you try to figure out which note is more important at all times. It's kind of like you want to make it painfully obvious to you. That way, it's clearly obvious to us. Yeah, really great job.
Thank you.
Fabulous, and I agree. I was messaging Drew. I was like, "Wow, he's been working this summer." So I'm definitely impressed, and love those comments that you just heard from Ross. Really fantastic, and completely accurate. And I'm gonna piggyback right on them in terms of their execution. And so when you played, it was beautifully connected and musical the way that you wanted to phrase it, because your fingers stayed down in the string. As soon as you went to, and I was demonstrating how they came out of the string. They did not stay in the string. And the string actually, never underestimate the importance of your left hand in good quality sound. And so if you practice it this way, then when you add this, do the same thing with your left hand. Keep it in the string and connect the notes using your fingers. And so I'd love to ask you to try that once again, maybe a little bit slower, and show us leaving your fingers in the string.
From the beginning or right on that spot?
I think from the beginning it's okay. Yeah, thank you. It's already better. And if you go through the piece with the musical approach that Ross suggested, and then trying to apply it through keeping your fingers, you can even practice everything slurred. To make yourself have to keep your fingers in the string. But some really good stuff. I don't want to take all the time. We just have a couple minutes. Maybe I'll toss it to Katherine.
Yeah, so absolutely, Dayton. Wow, so much great work since the last time I heard you play this, which was not that long ago. It's really, really fantastic breakthroughs happening. That's awesome. Sorry, my dog is alerting me of something in the background here. And yes, I was going to also comment on leaving your left hand fingers down whenever it's possible. Something else though, and I think Ross mentioned that yes, you have a great sense for the musical line and where you want things to be brought out, but sometimes I feel like it is happening when you don't mean for it to happen, especially on the third and fourth pages where it gets a little trickier. It sounds still like it's not quite as familiar to you as the first page. Okay, so I would recommend, and I know you and I talked about practicing the opening with open strings, and also with stopping before each string crossing, really making sure that your arm knows what it's doing, so that it can match your left hand, right? Because if this is in the string, great, but if this also doesn't know what it's doing, then what good is this, right? That same work needs to be done on the third and fourth page. Okay, even I'm sure you have done it a bit, but more, even more. And I would go back and break it down slower. I would practice open strings, the page 3 and page 4, and practice. Once that's done, once that work is done, take out your metronome again, and absolutely be religious about it, because you are, I think sometimes, especially it's happening, I think for a technical reason, it's easier to take time, especially on downbeats, and I don't think you always mean to. So definitely take a look at that. Another helpful trick that you have, that we all have, especially right now during this time, is record yourself, right? And hey, I think this is probably being recorded, so you can go back and listen to this, and then skip that whole step because it's already recorded. Go back, listen, and say, oh, I'm taking time here, 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 and I mean to, and here, 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 and I don't mean to, and then fix it with your metronome. Now, I'm not really seeing you breathe. Okay? I need more of a cue at the beginning. Okay? And I would challenge you to practice the entire opening with martelé, and do way too much. Just to get this crystal sound at the very opening. Okay? And you need to find places throughout here, maybe before a spot where you know you're about to get tight, and breathe. It doesn't have to be a big snort, but you need to breathe. You need to do something. And then when you think you make a mistake, sorry, I'm just covering everything that I want to make sure you hear. When you think you make a mistake, don't tell us. Right? You're a senior now. Don't tell anybody. If it happens, lean into it even. Right? Turn that smirk into a grimace and get into it. We won't know. We will know, but nobody else will know. So don't tell them. Okay? But hey, great work.
Thank you.
Awesome. Bravo.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm shocked that string players breathe.
Yeah, it's a big surprise. We keep it a secret all the time.
Oh, that's That's so. I mean, maybe we're doing something right, I guess, over here.
Dayton knows what I'm going to say on a lot of this stuff, and I want to thank all of my peers for such great information for him. He will hear more from me in his lesson this week. So, and he'll take his own notes from the recording because he's that kind of good student. Actually, Dayton, thank you so much for the hard work, and I really, really appreciate your progress on this as a teacher and how hard you work on this to keep getting better. And keep it up. Now, we have come to the end, and I wanted to take a minute to thank every single student. Thank you, Alan, for your beautiful clarinet playing. Thank you, Parker, for your beautiful cello. Thank you, Phoenix. I'm so glad your May song was so much fun. Thank you, Trey, for your cello playing. Thank you, Max, for your violin playing. And again, Dayton, for your Bach at the end. I wanted to thank you guys. Please, musicians, young musicians, thank your parents for valuing music education and getting you lessons. And we really, really am grateful to them. We really are grateful to them. Thank your school teachers, for those of you who have school teachers in orchestra for music and that and the other, and your private teachers, thank them all. And I want to thank my fellow teachers tonight. Thank you, Geoff and Ross and Katherine, for being such amazing pedagogues and making me happy and sharing the joy of music with me. And finally, I wanted to thank the people who did tech tonight. Thank you, Brandon and Doris. Thank you, Geoff, for making it run smoothly. And finally, everybody out there, thank you for checking in. We hope that you enjoyed it tonight. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and please listen to music. Make some music if you guys make it on your own music. And all of my students, all of the students out there, go practice, but with purpose. Go practice, go practice. Everyone have a great night. Thanks again for coming to the first night of Drew and Friends. Bye, guys. Everyone wave bye.